Yeah, so we go first with Make It Rain. Oh, +6 Make It Rain, knocking out a resisted hit on the Urshifu. That is such insane damage. This team is so good. What's up, y'all? Talon here, and today I'm excited to be sharing the top finishing Rain team from the Pokemon World Championships in Yokohama. This team got 5th place. It was piloted by Abdullah Mohayuddin, he goes by Sempra online, and he got 1st place at his first ever regional, the Vancouver Regionals, and then got the rest of his World's invite based off of Premier Challenges, so smaller local events, as well as the online global challenges where he did pretty well. So this was actually his follow-up event in the IRL circuit after Vancouver, so he had no other IRL events, and he managed to get 5th place, which is incredible. I think the only player I can think of who won their first ever regional and then went on to top 8 worlds in their rookie season was Wolf Glick, so Sempra definitely a name to be looking out for in the future, and I think he built an incredible team, and I really want to go into the details of that. Sempra hasn't made the team public yet in terms of EV spreads, but there was a lot of information revealed on stream as well as the open team sheet being made available, so based on that, as well as my 10 years of experience playing this game competitively, I'd made the team in-game and did a recreation with my own EV spreads, which I think are probably pretty close just based off what we saw on the stream, and that does take some time and effort, so if you enjoy the video and appreciate the team, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton, and let's go into the details of the team now. So Pelipper is the only Drizzle setter in the metagame. Kyogre and Politoed, of course, locked behind Pokemon Home and DLC at the moment, so if you want a Rain team and you don't want to run Tornadus or Thundurus and set up manual Rain, Pelipper is your only option. Pelipper is a pretty good Pokemon though. It does have some weaknesses. Its speed, special attack, and special defense aren't so strong, but it does have a strong defense stat, so it's a natural fit for Rocky Helmet, being able to switch in on physical attackers and deal some damage. Even though it does set up Rain for opposing Urshifu, it can take the Surging Strikes relatively well, obviously not great, but it can take a couple and then hit back with the Rocky Helmet damage. It has incredible coverage in the metagame in my opinion. The Hydro Pump is really nice into the fire types, and any fire type, well, most fire types this metagame are going for the Tera Grass option, so you can hit those with Hurricane if they go for that as well. Hurricane also very valuable against Amoonguss, a very common in the metagame, as well as both Urshifu, being able to knock those out with their poor special defense. Wide Guard is a cool option on the team just because Choice Spec seems to be the more common item on Fluttermane as opposed to Booster Energy on Pixie Plate, which was more common earlier in the format. So you have 3 Fairy type weaknesses on the team, so other Fluttermane are pretty incentivized to want to go for Dazzling Gleam, so if they do that and you have Pelipper on the field, you're able to go for Wide Guard, and now they're locked into a move. They can't switch it, so you can just continually Wide Guard until they switch, which is definitely very valuable and frees up your Pokemon to go on the offense in those positions. Amoonguss is fairly standard. It has a Water Tera, which is really nice for resisting Ice Spinners and Icicle Crashes from Chien-Pao, as well as even further weakening the damage of Fire-type moves, especially in Rain. We have Mental Herb as the item, which a lot of teams are reliant on Taunt as their Amoonguss answer, so this really preys on teams that try and do that. Just because they have to go for a Taunt 2 turns in a row to not let you Spore, you're able to get a lot of support off in that time. We also have Leaf Storm as the last move slot. This is really nice for damaging opposing Urshifu, just because you are setting up Rain for it, so although you have a lot of resistances and potential Terra types to beat the Water Urshifu in Rain, you really want to be able to clear it off the field very quickly, and Leaf Storm is definitely a great option to do that. Urshifu is the main Pokemon to take advantage of the Rain offensively, so Surging Strikes is doing incredible damage. We've opted for a Tera Grass over Tera Water in this situation, just because Amoonguss can be a problem for Rain teams. Even if you are going for your Tera Water in Rain, you're really still just barely 2-hit KOing, I think, if that, and then taking a lot of Rocky Helmet damage. It's just much more valuable to be able to ignore Amoonguss Rage Powder and just Surging Strikes the partner. That can get you a lot of leverage, and it's kind of similar to the winning team from Zine, the Tera Fairy Fluttermane. It's a similar principle where a lot of teams are reliant on the Amoonguss to beat this Pokemon, so if you opt a Tera to beat it, suddenly their team is just not very prepared and you can sweep through unsuspecting teams quite easily. To complement the Tera Grass, we have Tera Blast. That's able to basically pick up knockouts on opposing Urshifu that aren't expecting it. And we have U-Turn and Close Combat closing it out. Close Combat, just strong stab damage when Surging Strikes is not the ticket on that rare occasion. And then U-Turn, if you want to pivot out, that is a lot of synergy with Fake Out on Iron Hands as well as Regenerator on Amoonguss. Iron Hands is running Tera Grass here instead of Tera Water. This is mainly to have another Spore and Rage Powder immune on the team, which is really valuable. Rain teams are often plagued by a weakness to Amoonguss, so I really like that Sempra prioritized his Tera types to be able to handle that. especially because it was one of the highest performing Pokemon at Worlds. Chien-Pao is running an Adamant set with Ice Spinner, so able to get the jump on Pokemon just barely trying to live a Jolly Ice Spinner. You do take damage from Rocky Helmet because you're not running Icicle Crash, but you have the added benefit of having 100% accuracy on your Ice move, which is definitely valuable. We have Crunch over Sacred Sword in this slot, which with Farigiraf on the rise and your inability to hit it with Sucker Punch because of Armor Tail, that's really valuable on lead. It really basically forces them to Tera, which can be super valuable later on in the game. Gholdengo is running Citrus Berry over Leftovers, which is very valuable in a shorter battle, especially when you're taking Surging Strikes. What could be a 1-hit KO in Rain suddenly becomes a 2-hit KO, and that much time to get a Nasty Plot or a Shadow Ball off can be really nice. This Gholdengo is very fast. It was trained Timid, I believe, and we saw it outspeed a couple of Urshifu on stream, so that speed definitely very valuable. And the Tera is actually a Tera Flying, which seems to be mainly for ground type coverage, so something like Landorus or Ursaluna can't just go for a single target or spread ground type move and knock it out, but you do have to be careful of in open team sheet, they do know that they can go for a risky Facade or Rock Slide into your Gholdengo and potentially catch you off guard. One small note before we continue on to the battles, I really like the Urshifu Rapid Strike being on the team over a Basculegion we more typically see on Rain. So the Swift Swim on Basculegion means you don't have to run Choice Scarf like we see on the Urshifu here. That frees up your move slot to run Life Orb or Choice Band, which with a stronger base water move and Wave Crash can be incredible damage coming out from that, but it does suffer from having its water move basically deal damage to itself, so it has less longevity, as well as not being as bringable in matchups where you don't want to bring Rain. So I think the Urshifu just adds a lot of more flexibility to the team, and it was able to really come in clutch in matchups where you can't afford to bring Pelipper, and that flexibility I think let Abdullah and other players piloting a similar team. They didn't have exactly the same sets, but they were able to get in the top 16, I believe, and this exact 6 was actually the 7-0 in Swiss in day 2, so really strong team overall, and I think in the future we're going to see Urshifu Rapid Strike being the premier Rain Pokemon over Basculegion, unless we see some really innovative teams. All that being said, let's get into the rank battles now. We're very high on ladder, so expect to be playing some strong opponents. Let's see how we do. Now 5 on ladder with Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Cresselia, Ursaluna, Urshifu, and Dragonite. So kind of used to those last 4 being together on a team, but this one is kind of interesting. I think Gholdengo is really strong against all their team, unless they're unaware Dozo. I don't really want to rely on Amoonguss just because I think it's dangerous. It's pretty dangerous, I think. Let's think though. Crunch on Cresselia is immediate damage for sure. I think Urshifu's strong. I like Iron Hands as Grass Tera against everything but Tera Flying. Dondozo, that could be problematic. But Iron Hands is really good. I wonder if I go Amoonguss. I'm not so sure if I do. Gholdengo, if I preserve Tera Flying, could be kind of cheeky. But I think against Dondozo, it's just generally better to have Amoonguss. Just able to threaten Spore if they've already committed to Tera pretty safely. And if they have a cheeky Tera Flying or something like that, then uh-oh, we got. And they're leading Ursaluna, Cresselia. Fair enough. So I think I'm totally cool with that. I do have reason to fear the Cresselia. I am really threatening Ursaluna this turn. Like, that slot is just toast if I double into it. Which I'm tempted to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to go into the Ursaluna slot this turn. Ally Switch is reasonably likely. A Tera is reasonably likely. Try and get cheeky on Cresselia, go for Tera Fairy or something like that. But it is Ursaluna, and they're going for Tera Poison. That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Resistance to fighting type moves, that makes sense. Choice Scarf, Icy Wind. Cresselia. Okay. Alright, we do still move first because they missed on Urshifu, so we're at least getting that damage off. And if we hit the Crunch, we should be in good shape still. That is wild. And okay, but we doubled into the Urshifu, so we're big chilling. That is so crazy. What? They're cooking it. They're cooking top ladder. That is so crazy. I'm pretty sure Aaron Zhang played someone running Icy Wind, Choice Scarf, Cresselia too, but on this lead, I was just like, okay, maybe they ally switch. That's what I got to cover for. But no, that is not what they went for. So they did lose their Tera, so we can be pretty conservative with our back Pokemon, I think. Let's just protect switch to Amoonguss, because that HP is recoverable. You know what? No, maybe I'm taking more damage on Amoonguss this turn from a potential Earthquake because of Sword of Ruin being on the field, so I think I should have been more conscious of that and switched out their Chien-Pao and just taken whatever damage I take on the Urshifu and gotten some Surging Strike damage off. If it doesn't 2-hit KO or crit, I should be fine, but definitely introduced some danger to this battle that probably didn't have to be there. Yep, but no damage on Chien-Pao. Very nice. Like Heavy Slam would be a lot of damage. Surf. Dondozo. Okay. Fair enough. How much is that doing? Not that much. So now we just, I think, switch into Urshifu. I don't really feel the pressure to take damage on Chien-Pao. I think Spore is reasonably good. Like, they'd have to have a crazy move. They'd have to be like Safety Goggles, Lumberry, or just crit a Heavy Slam to beat Amoonguss here. But they go for Surf. So fair enough. So a lot of damage on Urshifu, but now we're safe to go for a U-turn Leaf Storm with no fear of a Tera of any kind. Yep. Oh, there's the Lumberry. Cool. Chesto, so it's Rest. Okay. I don't think Urshifu is that valuable this battle. I'm going to Surging Strikes Spore. Maybe they're lulling me into a false sense of security, though, on Amoonguss, so... Probably not, though. I think so long as I have Chien-Pao and Iron Hands in the back, I should be able to clean this up. And we're doing non-zero damage with Surging Strikes. That's about, like, a little, maybe 20%, a little less than 1/4. Tera Blast. Okay, so just normal Tera Blast. That's interesting. Because they're obviously EV'd for special attack on this Dondozo. Maybe they're expecting that to have knocked out, but not the case. And now I just get Iron Hands in, and Leaf Storm's going to do a big chunk. And they might just cancel. Because it's... I mean, where there's a Dondozo with Omni Boost, there's a way, but... Given their best move other than Surf is Tera Blast, they probably have Rest as their last. They do have the longevity to stall this out, but I think I have the coverage to make it a non-factor. So at this point, I think we pretty safely go for Wild Charge Spore. That'll knock out Dondozo. If they go for Rest, they'll still be asleep. I'll go for Pollen Puff next turn, it's no biggie. And with Choice Scarf revealed on Cresselia, they'd have to be Trick to not be able to get hit by Sucker Punch, and I just don't think they have the bulk or the offensive power to be able to knock out Iron Hands no matter what. That was kooky though. They do wake up. Things maybe go different if Urshifu doesn't get that Surging Strike off, but unless they go for like... I don't think Headlong Rush knocks out my Urshifu without Flame Orb. Maybe if they have Giga Impact, like, I don't know. I felt pretty good about that. Turn 1, just doubling the correct Pokemon there. And it was made easier because I had Urshifu on the field. Like, if it's Cresselia or Ursaluna, I usually feel pretty bad about doubling into that slot just because Protect Trick Room's so obvious. And without consequence, usually. But yeah, here's Cresselia. I think we just Drain Punch. They can knock out our Amoonguss if they want. Did they outspeed my Urshifu? How fast is this Cresselia? Really fast. Okay. Yeah, because Cresselia is on the field, I think I always lose my Ursaluna to it. So I'm just going to switch that out and get some HP back on my Amoonguss, because I think more than likely that, to put it frankly, Amoonguss is BS proof at this point, whereas Urshifu like gets a Surging Strikes off, and that's it. I think outside of somehow their Tatsugiri wakes up and hits me with a Muddy Water, maybe they Ice Beam freeze me on Cresselia on Iron Hands, but I don't think they have the room on the set to do that. So they lock into Icy Wind, very nice. We'll be able to Sucker Punch them or crunch them with impunity at this point with the Chien-Pao, so now we just knock out Tatsu and win. Big damage. Very nice. And we're going to close this one with Crunch and no real reason to switch. We'll go for U-turn. And they're not canceling. Playing it to the bitter end. Where there's a Muddy Water, there's a way, I suppose. But it's not looking too good for them, since I can just switch out on the Muddy Water drop. Nope, fast asleep. Number 5 on ladder. Took down. So yeah, I wonder what their Tera was. If it was Tera Flying, which I suspect it is, just because Amoonguss otherwise walls them. I think if they don't burn their Tera there, this game probably goes very differently. Because this team is very reliant on Tera Grass, Iron Hands, and Amoonguss to beat Dondozo, but that's assuming that you know the Tera is Grass or Steel. So if you're not that, then it gets a little tricky for you. Yeah, they cancel. Chien-Pao just never going to go down to Icy Wind before I crunch them. So yeah, really good battle. In terms of points, it was kind of a boring battle. Just by the books after that first turn. But yeah, Icy Wind Cresselia, man. They're cooking up here. Kind of have a 2-2-2 team where we have the Chien-Pao Dragonite, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, and Dondozo and Tatsugiri. So strong team, but kind of difficult in best of 1. We do have the benefit of being able to mitigate Chi-Yu's effectiveness with Amoonguss's Terra type or just setting up Rain, which I think is really nice. I like Amoonguss. I think Iron Hands could be a strong Pokemon for me here. I don't think Gholdengo, I get a lot of... I might get some value out of Gholdengo. I think Urshifu is a pretty strong lead into most of their Pokemon, honestly. Gholdengo's strong into their Chien-Pao option, mainly, but not into much else. I think I like Amoonguss here a lot. I don't have Sacred Sword for Dondozo, that could be annoying. Rain could be pretty nice for me though. I'm not up for Pelipper. If I had Sacred Sword, I might consider going for Chien-Pao, but the Terra Normal Dragonite could be an issue for us, honestly. That's something I've experienced in the past, is Terra Normal Dragonite can be annoying for Rain just because it's able to circumvent your Rage Powders, your Speed Boosts, or your Choice Scarf Urshifu in this case, so we'll try our best, but I think Dragonite's definitely a strong call for them here. They've gone with Chi-Yu and Flutter though, so let's look for Booster Energy. It is Booster, and it is going to be Speed. Okay. So that's unfortunate in some ways. I think I like Heavy Slam switch into Pelipper, I think. Because I should be able to live a hit. I don't really want to burn my Tera just yet, I don't think. Maybe? I'll basically be taking neutral damage. Am I going to need my Tera for anything this match? Possibly, possibly not. I think I'm going to Heavy Slam, switch to Pelipper. I don't want to take a Moonblast on my... or a Dazzling Gleam on Urshifu. I led, obviously, my 2 fighting types here. Terra Water would be really, really valuable on Iron Hands, but Grass Terra could be more valuable later in the game. I didn't Drain Punch the Chi-Yu just because I think a Terra Ghost is reasonably likely, but they don't go for it. So Dazzling Gleam doing a ton, and Psychic into... Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So they go Psychic Chi-Yu. I feel like that has to be choice spec, so that's super effective against all my remaining Pokemon though, so that's very cool. I think the likelihood of them being Choice Scarf is pretty low on the Chi-Yu, honestly. There is Dondozo, so fair enough. They haven't gone for their Terra yet, so we gotta watch out for that. Psychic Terra, wow, okay. I think I'll go for Terra on this guy. I think that's my strongest option. And Drain Punch. And then U-turn the Dondozo, maybe? Because if they switch, I shouldn't take too much damage on Iron Hands, and I get my Amoonguss in. This could be tricky, honestly. If I get this turn wrong, I could be in bad shape. But I think they're probably likely to switch their Chi-Yu. So yeah, I could have Drain Punched or Wild Charged the Dondozo here. But I think, depending on their Terra type, yeah, so there is Tatsugiri. But we're going to get the U-turn off, I think. We should outspeed Dondozo. Oh yeah, it can't even outspeed, what was it, Meowscarada at like 192 or something speed, so we definitely outspeed and get the U-turn off unless they're Choice Scarf Dondozo. Which would be something. That definitely would be something, but I think it would... Ooh, you know what? I do have to be very, very careful. I can't let my... So because Chi-Yu switched out, and I only have Amoonguss and Iron Hands left, and I've maxed my, or Terra'd my Iron Hands and Tera Grass, I have to be very, very careful with how I play the rest of this game. Because I need Urshifu to be able to beat their Chi-Yu in the back. And I should be able to knock it out with Surging Strikes, almost regardless of Terra. So they go for Earthquake, so very glad I went for the move I did. But I wonder if Wave Crash knocks me out. Interesting, interesting. So we have to be a little worried about Tera Grass here. I think I go for Drain Punch into Dondozo and Pollen Puff. Just because I can't afford to... Like, I can't bite into a Spore here. If I do, I'll lose the game. And Wave Crash is definitely going to be dicey on the Iron Hands. It might knock me out, but if they go for Wave Crash and it knocks me out, I didn't really have another play, so. It is Terra Flying, though. Okay. Yeah, that's Dondozo in best of one. Yeah, they just go for Terra Blast, so. Eek, okay. That's super, super ideal for them this game. They definitely had all the coverage options for us here, but if I know that and I just go for Wild Charge instead, I'm pretty sure I just win with Surging Strikes here, but now I don't think I can beat their Tatsugiri. So, yeah, unfortunate. Unless Surging Strikes just somehow clutches up, I don't think we have a shot in this game anymore. But I'll go for Surging Strikes. Maybe the damage will impress me, but I really don't think we're getting a knockout here. If we'd gone for Wild Charge, then yeah, but I really didn't want to risk knocking myself out that turn after Rage Powder damage, so unfortunately made a mistake, but I maybe should always go for Wild Charge there. No, I think given they're probably Tera Grass, I made the right play, but maybe they forget about Surging Strikes going through Protect. Yeah, no. So that's a little unfortunate. Definitely very unfortunate. Okay, yeah. Wild Charge definitely would have won us the game. Oof. Best of one, Terra Flying Dondozo. We did get got. It is what it is, though. I suppose we maybe could win if they miss an attack. Like, I think that turn was probably a mistake from them. Unless they have Flamethrower, I think we could... Like, they could miss a Draco Meteor very easily, as well as a Heat Wave or Overheat. And so even though we probably have like a 1% chance to win this match, it's still a chance. So we do have another turn of Rain. Don't think it's going to matter, but yeah, I think now we just go for Drain Punch and we pray that they miss both of their attacks. But yeah, the really strong Tera from them. Kind of going full circle back to Regulation A, back when Tera Flying was the standard set, other than Tera Steel. Just really strong coverage into fighting types, grass types, so they do get the Draco off, so they probably just need to hit the Psychic. Come on. Oh, they did go for Heat Wave, so if that missed, we probably win right there, but nope. RNG working as it should in that situation, and we are taking a loss there. So good game. Definitely frustrating to not know the Tera type and be able to prepare correctly, especially since I felt like the game was so close and we probably are favored if we do know it. But it is what it is. Can't win them all. You try and make the plays that win you the game most of the time in best of one, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Okay, so to start off, we actually have the world champion team. We have Chien-Pao, Urshifu, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, Amoonguss, and Landorus, so solid team. I think we have the tools to win. I think the Urshifu on our team is very strong against theirs. The Tera Grass is so good. Gholdengo as well, I think, is quite strong in certain situations. Yeah, I like Amoonguss a lot. I like Gholdengo here, honestly. Gholdengo could be a really strong adjustment, but it does have its weaknesses. We should be outspeeding their Landorus, honestly, which is nice. I think I'll go Urshifu as lead. Amoonguss as well is quite strong. We can catch them off guard on Taunt Urshifu with our Amoonguss, basically. And I think Gholdengo is pretty good too in the back. And I don't think Rain is necessary for us here. So I'm going to go Iron Hands last. So basically the bulkiest 6 on the team we've brought outside the Urshifu. But Pelipper not that bulky in this case. We've just brought the best utility Pokemon with the most bulk to be able to handle all the switching and pivoting I expect that this team is going to go for. We'll see if they're Choice Scarf Landorus or Safety Goggles. That'll definitely change the way the battle plays a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't have our own Intimidate, so we won't be able to gauge speed tiers that way, just because basically in abilities activate in terms of the speed tiers. But okay, yeah, there is the Urshifu and Iron Hands. I wonder how important chip damage is going to be this battle. A little chip on the Urshifu would not hurt though. So I think I'll go for U-turn Spore. They are switching though. Amoonguss, okay. So they kind of saw the Spore coming. Oh, but they detect. Cool. So we're U-turning that. That maybe indicates they don't have Taunt? I'm not sure. But U-turn into Amoonguss would have been pretty valuable damage. I think now we have a pretty safe Gholdengo here. I think that's a pretty safe nasty plot. I don't want to commit my Tera just yet on my Iron Hands. Based on what they have revealed, I think Gholdengo is definitely my best, and I should be able to live any Surging Strike from them and be able to heal up a lot. So unless they're Tera Grass, I do like this position a fair bit. So I'm going to go for Nasty Plot. If they are Tera Grass, if they switch from the original team, then good on them. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. Sometimes these teams are Safety Goggles. Right, that's what Arash and Neil were running, so if they are running that, yeah. So Surging Strikes does enough to where I'll actually live. I won't live if this is Safety Goggles. I won't be able to redirect next turn. Oh, okay. So that's detrimental, of course. Okay, but they weren't, so no Lumberry? Yeah, I got really worried. I suddenly realized safety goggles would be so bad for us, but maybe they're Focus Sash, they just go for Pollen Puff. I think I'm kind of safe to go for a Pollen Puff Nasty Plot again. Or like a Nasty Plot again. I don't think I need to take this knockout just yet. Depends on what they have in the back, right? I could go for Leaf Storm, honestly. But I think this is just a lot safer. Because I can almost just keep going for Nasty Plot and Pollen Puff, and even if they wake up, I'm getting lots of damage and chipping stuff down for my Urshifu in the late game. And as long as I Tera, they can't go for Clear Smog. And yeah, they just Pollen Puff, so the Amoonguss still in the field basically doing nothing because they can't Spore my Gholdengo. And yeah, now I feel pretty good about, honestly, Rage Powder seems strong. Rage Powder Nasty Plot, just get my 4th up, suddenly be taking knockouts instead of just, okay, yeah, Amoonguss protects, so that's really good. And now, yeah, we're really seeing the strength of Gholdengo Amoonguss. Just, it's been consistently strong since the first series of Scarlet and Violet. And wait, did I actually outspeed the Urshifu just now? Oh yeah, we are. So definitely take advantage of this very fast Gholdengo. And now I think we don't reduce our special attack. We don't go for that. Well, it'd be pretty swag too, though. Yeah, this actually chips their Urshifu in range of Make It Rain for me, so I think I'm actually super down to go for Rage Powder Make It Rain. They burned a Protect on the Amoonguss. They probably switched that out, to be fair, into Iron Hands and take a resisted hit, but +6 Make It Rain is still going to do a lot of damage, so I think I'm glad with that trade. Like everything, my goal is not to win with Gholdengo. My goal is to win with Urshifu, and Gholdengo is just paving the way for that. Yeah, so we go first with Make It Rain. Oh, +6 Make It Rain, knocking out a resisted hit on the Urshifu. That is such insane damage. This team is so good. Yeah, so very glad I didn't go for Shadow Ball. Had a double knockout on the field and didn't even realize it. +6 is no joke, man. And there's Chien-Pao the Gourmet and Iron Hands. So this is pretty good for me, I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so they haven't Terra'd yet. So I think I just go for probably Make It Rain. Like I live Sucker Punch, I'm pretty sure I'm EV to live that. So I think I'll just go for Make It Rain plus... Do I need anything? No, my Iron Hand should pretty safely win this for me, so I'm gonna go for Spore onto Chien-Pao. Yeah, they fake out Amoonguss. If they have Crunch, this probably knocks me out, but they are Sucker, which I believe we're EV to live. Yep. I think we might be EV to live Adamant most of the time, so we live that pretty handily. I think that's probably Jolly, and we almost knock out Iron Hands, and yeah, not looking good for them. Or we almost knock out Chien-Pao, and we have Iron Hands in Shadow Ball range, so at this point we just Rage Powder, Make It Rain, just go for spread moves. They have to go for a Tera to hit my Gholdengo this turn. So if they do that, they're suddenly weak to Make It Rain on Iron Hand. So I think this is pretty safely wrapped up. So I was a little concerned about the Gholdengo bring here, but in those awkward defensive positions where you both have your Amoonguss on the board, if you have Gholdengo in, it's just such a free nasty plot. And even though we took a Surging Strike with Citrus Berry and Pollen Puff being on the field. We could have been in trouble if they were safety goggles for sure. I think that's one hole in our game plan, but based on them, what they do, protect the first turn, I felt pretty confident that that they weren't going to go for that. So it is Ice Spinner, not going for Icicle Crash. And they do take the knockout, but in exchange, we're going to take their Chien-Pao, and our Urshifu with close combat will clean up any Terra type they have. So all basically a formality at this point. The bulky, timid Gholdengo really putting in work. Didn't even give the Urshifu a chance to wake up on that turn we attacked. They could have woken up on the turn subsequent, or the turns preceding that, but because they didn't, and that speed was just so valuable. So this Gholdengo doesn't have a lot of special attack investment, but it's really just preying on the opportunity that you get the nasty plots up, and you're able to get it pretty consistently with the defensive pivoting on this team as well as the offensive power. So an underrated concept in Pokemon is, yeah, you can have your redirection to set something up, but oftentimes it can just be really nice to set up with, yeah, I went for Surging over close combat. Like if they're Tera Ghost, they could win this, maybe, but any other Tera, I'm fine. Yeah. Yep, Fake Out Surging, cleans it up. But like I was saying, an underrated strategy for getting set up on Pokemon, like Gholdengo, Goodra, things like that, is not to just like tunnel vision on that on your team building, but actually focus on building a strong offensive team around it so that the offensive power being offered by the Pokemon next to the setup Pokemon is basically enough to direct attention over to them. So that's not really what we did, but it kind of is. Like we had the Urshifu on the first turn that we forced a defensive turn out of them. The really danger of having setup Pokemon is that your opponents know you're setting up, so they just go on the offensive. But if you can keep them on the defensive, that's when you open up turns to go for setup. And Spore Amoonguss on an offensive team, kind of also a similar concept. Okay, up against rank 10 on the ladder, they have Fluttermane, Urshifu, Iron Hands, Tornadus, Heatran, and Gastrodon. So we do have to maybe worry about Sunny Day on Tornadus. That can boost Fluttermane and Heatran's base power on their moves. Well, Fluttermane, Photosynthesis, Heatran, the Fire-type moves. We could get a lot of value out of Pelipper's Pelipper this battle, just with Wide Guard, potentially. I think we have to be worried about Heatran on lead, though. Gastrodon's really threatening. I feel like Chien-Pao is really solid into their team as a lead, instead of Iron Hands. Heatran's, yeah, really threatening. I'm going to lead Iron Hands, Chien-Pao. It's just a really solid lead against Tailwind teams. Forces them to respect Fake Out as well as just take 2 hits to knock out Chien-Pao. In the back, Amoonguss dominates Gastro with Leaf Storm. That's definitely relevant. And I think Gholdengo could be cool, but it could be very bad as well. So I think Pelipper maybe? I was between Urshifu and Gholdengo. I'm going Gholdengo here. If Tailwind wears down and we're able to go for a Tera Flying, yeah, it's questionable. Probably Water Urshifu is better for us here. Okay, so it's Torn, Urshifu, Dark. So, good lead from them. I think I'm scared of Fake Out into that slot, honestly. But I think probably Ice Spinner, Drain Punch pretty safe a lot of the time. Just be mindful of who I have in back. Yeah, I can't really protect, right? So I think I'll go for Ice Spinner plus... they have Ghost types, right? They could switch in Flutter here and that'd be annoying. I think I might double Torn. No, I think Drain Punch into Urshifu is pretty safe. They have to switch it out to not get knocked out here, and I should get at least pretty close to a knockout on Tornadus and get a ton of damage with Drain Punch. So Focus Sash, of course, valuable, doing exactly what we needed it to, just forcing them to attack one turn. We could have maybe gotten a little more out of this turn or taken less damage if we go for Fake Out, but I'm traumatized by playing Tera Ghost earlier in the session. So, yep, we take out Torn in one hit. There's no Rocky Helmet, and Drain Punch almost knocks it out. Bringing it down to Focus Sash, fair enough. So now we're threatening Sucker Punch into their Urshifu for a knockout. They're also threatening the same to us, but that's totally fine, I think. Yep, there's Flutter Mane, and I don't really boost our energy speed. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna, I think, Protect Switch here. Because they should probably Sucker Punch. If they want damage this turn, they have to Sucker Punch on Urshifu. Otherwise, I just threaten a Sucker Punch of my own. So I think I'm pretty clear to get my Amoonguss in while they play defensive on their Ursh. Because they've already taken a Pokemon. And they're going for Tera on something. Tera on the Flutter. Yeah, going for Tera on Urshifu. They have to get a lot of value out of that, especially since it's most likely going down. So we go for Protect. No Protect on their side, notably. Oh, they didn't Sucker Punch. Did they Swords Dance or something? Because if they Wicked Blow my Amoonguss, I'm in hot water. Close combat. Okay. That's fine. They were Booster Energy, but we should now get a pretty free Sucker into Spore. I think that was a really aggressive read from them, though. They could have Taunt, but who do they have in the back? Maybe they threaten Fake Out Pressure. If they do, though, eh. Shadow Ball won't knock us out. They Protect Flutter. And what do they go for on Ursh? Yep, they go for Sucker Punch this turn, so fair enough. Maybe a decent opportunity to go for Gholdengo here, but probably not the smartest. I think we probably want to preserve our Gholdengo here, or our Iron Hands' HP for what they have in the back, given that it's one of Iron Hands or Heatran or Gastrodon. So I think I like Make It Rain here and Rage Powder. They probably know I'm Nasty Plot, right? I think they maybe Protect Urshifu. They haven't yet. I'm kind of kicking myself for not Sucker Punching that one turn, though. It was pretty aggressive not to, and I took a lot more damage off the close combat than I needed to. This is one of those situations where it'd be really, really valuable to have Citrus Berry, though. So no Protect, so unless they have something unexpected like Safety Goggles on the Urshifu, we should be okay here. Don't get knocked out, and there is Wicked Blow, so we'll get the knockout onto Urshifu and not a knockout into Flutter Mane. It can live the Make It Rain pretty easily if they have any amount of bulk. Yeah. But we haven't taken damage on our Gholdengo, so Citrus Berry is still active. And we're threatening Fake Out into their Flutter Mane on the turn Tailwind ends, which is valuable. Tera Water would be very, very good for us, but... Oh, no, Tera Gastrodon's pretty chill, actually. So, Yeah, so I feel like we just go for Tera Grass, fake out, and then they have to get a double protect maybe to win. Nasty plot, Tera Grass, fake out. Feels correct. Because they could yawn me. Like, if they Earth Power me, I think I always win with Iron Hands, just because I have the bulk to pull through. If they Earth Power me, trying to knock me into range of something, then I attack the Flutter next turn and try and knock it out. They do protect, predictably, but I don't think I should be making a read at this point. I'm just playing to my best odds. And they have to make the correct play to even have odds to win this game, I think. And their speed boosting Flutter main, we're almost max HP Gholdengo. We might live the Shadow Ball, but they do go for Earth Power. So that's good. Now we just protect our Gholdengo and go for a Drain Punch in the Flutter main. And they can't knock us out with anything on Flutter. Oh, you know what would be really crazy? That could win them the game. I don't think it will, but if they had Perish Song as their last move on Flutter main, well, I guess they can't. They revealed, was it Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam? I think it was Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Protect. So maybe if they have Perish Song, they could Perish Song and then try and beat the remaining two 1v1. Or 2v1, just stall out the turns. But I think with Nasty Plot on Gholdengo, they probably don't have the turns to make it happen. But no, it is Shadow Ball, and we're going to knock out their Flutter. Counting down, we knocked out Tornadus, Urshifu, and Flutter main, so now it's just Gastrodon left. And we should be taking a pretty scary, but a good win against number 10 on ladder. Give us some points from that. Yeah, there is the Earth Power, so Gholdengo ended up being the right bring here. It didn't offer a lot of damage, but it offered the damage in the right places and was able to win it for us. So at this point, it's just Shadow Ball, Drain Punch, I think. At +1, yeah. They forfeit knowing that they have to crit, and then even then, if they're not Yawn and they don't get a freeze on Iron Hands, I think I have the recovery with Drain Punch to 1v1 them, especially after the Shadow Ball damage. So that'll do it for today. We played some really solid opponents with some interesting teams, and I think we were able to show off the flexibility of the team more than anything. We very rarely had to lean on the Rain mode, and when we did, sometimes we'd only bring Urshifu, other times we'd only bring Pelipper. They do work together, but I think the strength of the team is that they're able to function perfectly well independently. And I think Gholdengo had an incredible couple of games, just Nasty Plot going up and just being able to completely tear through teams. Chien-Pao, Iron Hands, and Amoonguss are really the backbone of the team, just being brought in a lot of battles and just being so consistent. And I want to once again congratulate Abdullah for getting 5th place at the World Championships in his first World Championships, his first event since his Vancouver regional win. Just can't understate how impressive of an accomplishment that is. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoy the rental team and the pokepaste, which is in the description, please subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy the videos, and yeah, peace.